Today we want to cover a specific provision within the proposed Lower Drug Cost Now Act 2019. We don't want to be fearmongers, but wanted to at least note this so you have it top of mind. So within that text, Andrew, as you know, or within that bill rather, there's the concept of a somewhat of a stick provision, leveraging existing Chapter 32 guidance and adding an excise tax to the pharmaceuticals that are covered within that negotiation process. In its simplest form, fundamentally, if you are selected as a branded pharmaceutical subject to the negotiation, and you don't come to the table and meet within that agreement, over a period of days, really well into a few months, you'll have an excise tax levied under the bill going from 65% all the way up to 95%. I don't think at this moment it makes sense maybe to get into the mechanics of how that'll be levied, but just to leave it on its face, effectively a 95% excise tax could be levied on these companies. So, Andrew, what are you hearing legislatively in the likelihoods here?
Yeah, so we can expect that the House will probably take up the bill later this month and pass it. Some progressives would have liked to have gone further, but I don't think they're going to let the perfect be the enemy of the good. But when it goes over to the Senate, I don't see the Senate passing, this prescription drug pricing legislation. The Republicans control the Senate as opposed to the Democrats controlling the House, and I think the likelihood of this passing is very, very low in the Senate, despite the fact that there is bipartisan interest in prescription drug legislation. Just this isn't the solution that Republicans are willing to support. That said, maybe in this current political environment it can't go anywhere, but it's the kind of legislative proposal that could come back after the 2020 election cycle, and depending on how that plays out, could be something that gets considered.
What I find, and this is really kind of a curiosity that we've talked about a bit, it's interesting that we're in the process of removing certain Chapter 32 excise taxes, or at least debating the removal of certain Chapter 32 excise taxes, while we're also using those same provisions to fund other mechanics, almost kind of one for one. So we'll see if that has any impact, right? If negotiations around med device or other excises that are out there have any sort of credence to what's going on here. Most likely not, but I think a curiosity nonetheless.
No, I agree with you. It's kind of interesting to watch them trying to either suspend or repeal the medical device excise tax at the same time they're using the mechanics to achieve, a similar result with prescription drug pricing. But Congress is not necessarily known for consistency.
Fair. Thank you.